Jonathan Taylor could be a surprise trade candidate for the Bears this offseason. Let's talk about where the Bears stand right now. We're looking at a team that's completely different from what we saw just 2 years ago. Ryan Poles has methodically built this roster piece by piece, and now we're sitting on a gold mine of resources. The Bears are heading into 2025 with over $80 million in cap space. Now, about Jonathan Taylor. Listen, I've been studying film on this guy since his Wisconsin days, and what he did last season with the Colts was nothing short of spectacular. We're talking about 1,400 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, and here's what the stats don't show you. His explosive play rate was off the charts. Taylor had more runs of 20-plus yards than any back in the league, and he did this while teams were stacking the box against him. But here's where it gets interesting. The Colts and Taylor have a complicated history. Remember that holdout last season? 6 games on the sideline before they worked out his extension. And now, even with 2 years left on his deal, there's smoke coming out of Indianapolis. My sources there tell me the front office is at least willing to listen to offers. That's not something you do if you're 100% committed to keeping a player. Let's talk about scheme fit, because this is where things get really exciting. Ben Johnson, our new head coach, is an offensive mastermind. In Detroit, he built an offense that perfectly balanced power running with explosive passing plays. His system relies heavily on play action, and guess what Taylor does better than almost any back in the league? He forces defenses to respect the run, creating those perfect play action opportunities. Think about this offense for a second. You've got Caleb Williams, who we all know can make every throw in the book. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen on the outside, 2 of the best route runners in the game. Now add Jonathan Taylor to that mix. Defensive coordinators would have nightmares game planning against us. But let's be realistic about what it would take to get him. I've talked to several front office executives around the league, and the consensus is that a second-round pick plus a mid-round selection could get it done. Some might say that's steep for a running back, but Taylor isn't just any running back. He's a game changer, a guy who can turn a good offense into an unstoppable one. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What about DeAndre Swift? Look, Swift had a solid 2024 season. He showed flashes of brilliance, but there's levels to this game. Taylor is in that elite tier with guys like Christian McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson. He's a 3-down back who can pass protect, catch out of the backfield, and most importantly, he's a closer. When you need those tough yards in the fourth quarter to ice a game, Taylor gets them. Let's talk about the injury concerns, because they're real. Taylor has had his share of ankle issues, but here's something most people don't know. He's completely changed his training regimen. I spoke with his personal trainer last month, and they've implemented a new program focusing on mobility and injury prevention. The results showed last season he played in every game after returning from his holdout. The Bears' offensive line is another factor here. We're likely looking at some upgrades through free agency and the draft. Adding Taylor would make any offensive line look better. He's got that rare combination of vision and patience. He sets up his blocks perfectly and has the burst to hit the hole when it opens. Here's another aspect people aren't talking about enough: the impact on Caleb Williams' development. A strong running game is a young quarterback's best friend. It takes pressure off, keeps the defense honest, and opens up those deep shots we know Williams can hit. Taylor would essentially be an insurance policy for our franchise quarterback. The competition for Taylor could be fierce, though. I'm hearing the Ravens might be interested, especially after losing their top back to free agency. The Eagles are another team to watch. They've always valued the running game heavily. But here's why I think the Bears have the edge. We've got the draft capital, the cap space, and most importantly, we can offer him a featured role in an offense that's built to maximize his skills. Looking at the Bears' schedule next season, we've got some tough run defenses on the slate. The Lions have beefed up their front 7. The Vikings are always solid against the run. And we can't forget about that Packers defensive line. Having a back like Taylor who can produce against stacked boxes would be huge in these divisional games. Let's talk numbers for a second. Taylor's current contract is actually pretty reasonable for his production level. He's due around $14 million per year, which puts him right in the middle of the top running back contracts. When you consider what he brings to the table, that's excellent value. The timing of this potential trade is crucial too. The Bears are entering their window. We've got Williams on his rookie deal, some key players locked up long-term, and a coaching staff that knows how to utilize talent. This isn't just about 2025. This is about building a sustainable contender in the NFC North. Now, there's always the draft option, but here's the thing about rookie running backs. Even the most talented ones usually take time to adjust to the NFL's pass protection schemes. Taylor's already proven he can handle everything at the pro level. There's no learning curve, no adjustment period. He steps in day one as a difference. Think about how this move would change the perception of the Bears around the league. We're already trending up, but adding Taylor would send a clear message. We're not just building for the future, we're ready to compete now. That matters when you're trying to attract free agents and build a winning culture. The Bears have been patient in their rebuild, making smart, calculated moves. But sometimes you need to take that big swing, that move that pushes you over the top. Jonathan Taylor could be that move. He's the type of player who doesn't just help you win games, he helps you win championships. Before we wrap up, let's address one last point, the long-term outlook. Taylor's 26 years old, essentially entering his prime. Running backs typically start declining around 28, 29, which means we'd get his best years. And with the way he takes care of his body, maintains his speed, there's no reason he can't be productive even longer. The Bears have a chance to make a move that could reshape their offense and potentially the entire NFC North. Ryan Poles has shown he's not afraid to make bold moves when he sees an opportunity. This could be his biggest one yet. What do you think? Should the Bears go all in for Jonathan Taylor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Bears content. We'll be covering every angle of this story as it develops.